Hello, this is Danielle Yawowiecka with the BBC News. The University of California has agreed to pay out nearly $250 million to settle claims by hundreds of women that they were sexually assaulted by a campus gynecologist, James Heaps. More details from Peter Bowes.
James Heaps was based at the university's Los Angeles Student Health Center between 1983 and 2018. He's been accused by 203 women who said they were groped or otherwise abused by the doctor. The university did not begin investigating complaints against Mr. Heaps until 2017, and it's been accused in hundreds of lawsuits of deliberately hiding the gynecologist's alleged sexual abuse of patients. The university said it hoped the financial settlement would provide healing and closure for the women involved.
The World Health Organization says that 500,000 more deaths from COVID-19 have been recorded since the Omicron variant was identified last year. The WHO incident manager Abdi Mohammed described the number as beyond tragic in an age of effective vaccines. Senior officials at the WHO are also calling for an additional $17 billion to fund better distribution of vaccines, as Naomi Grimley reports.
In his role as a WHO ambassador, Gordon Brown says it's now a test of leadership to see if the world can bring the pandemic under control in 2022. This latest financial push is designed not only to ensure vaccines are distributed more fairly across the globe, but also to provide low-income countries with enough oxygen for treatment, tests for diagnosis, and better surveillance to keep on top of newly emerging variants.
The pharmaceutical giant Pfizer says it expects its COVID-19 vaccine and antiviral medication to generate record revenue of up to $102 billion in the coming year. It made the forecast on the back of a doubling of its annual profits for 2021. Western efforts to resolve tensions over Ukraine are continuing, with the French President Emmanuel Macron briefing the German Chancellor and the Polish President at the end of 2 days of diplomacy. After talks in Moscow and Kiev, Mr. Macron has insisted that the only way to end the crisis is to resolve the conflict in eastern Ukraine, where Russian-backed separatists are fighting government forces. Paul Adams reports.
The French president has outlined a lengthy two-pronged process. Talks on Ukraine, with France and Germany acting as mediators, as they have since 2014, and a much bigger dialogue about regional security. For his part, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked his French guest for his support, but sounded a sceptical note about Moscow. "I don't trust the words very much," he said. "There have to be concrete steps towards de-escalation. Those seem unlikely to come soon."
World News from the BBC. The leading Republican in the US Senate, Mitch McConnell, has criticised the party for censuring 2 members of Congress who are critical of the former President Donald Trump. The Republican National Committee took action on Friday against Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, the only 2 members of the party to serve on the House committee investigating the storming of the Capitol by a mob of Trump supporters. Mr. McConnell said the committee should not be singling out members who held different views. The US Justice Department has announced a record seizure of Bitcoin worth more than $3.6 billion, stolen as part of a hack in 2016. A married couple, Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan, have been arrested on suspicion of helping to launder the haul. The US Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco gave this statement at a news conference.
Thanks to good old-fashioned police work, we traced the stolen funds from the exchange. Our message today is clear. The United States, together with our partners and allies, will not allow cryptocurrency to become a vehicle for criminals to operate without consequences.
US officials say Omicron has been discovered in a herd of deer in New York, the first time the highly transmissible COVID variant has been detected in wild animals. Swabs were taken from more than 100 white-tailed deer captured on Staten Island. The findings have raised fears that the species, which number 30 million across the United States, could harbour new mutations of the virus. The singer Adele has won 3 of the top prizes at the first Genderless Brit Awards ceremony in London. She took Song of the Year for Easy on Me, Album of the Year for 30, and the new category of Artist of the Year. The Brits, like some other award shows, have got rid of male and female categories. That's the latest BBC News.